Ryan Stone. He's a halfway decent-looking guy, a nice smile. You have to get through that wall.
79T, 2458, Learning Corp, Little Red Riding Hood, take one.
Somebody find out the fucking real names for me.
40 years of my life is in the wire that's gone. Does that make sense?
You have to get through that wall.
I only know what my heart feels.
Where they say there are Indian people pooping on our beach.
Socially retarded.
It's a spool of wire. 40 years of my life is in the wire that's gone.
For the meme, they're very good. This is really, they've taken it.
True Alpha
Named Ryan Stone.
It says, ask Murphy about the article he wrote cuckolding his wife. Clear up the cuck article. Clear up the cuck article.
Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me?
If I wasn't prepared to literally impoverish his entire bloodline,
I am now concerned for my career.
And I still recommend
Clear up the cuck article.
You know what? Fuck you for bringing this up. Yeah. Fuck you. Heartfelt.
I'm not going to have those guys back on my channel again. Absolutely not.
Just use a little bit of fucking common sense.
It is just...
That's great. That's you should.
Fuck you.
Sorry, apologies.
Just keep going, dude. 1 foot.
What can I say, fellas? How do you not have fun on this stuff? We're trying a new feature out. They got a thing where they automatically make this available for shorts, which I don't understand. I don't think it makes sense. I don't think it's going to work, but we're going to try it because we're on the Optimism episode. I'm moving some windows around here for more efficient bants between us. The Optimism episode. Normally, I hate optimism. I find those people that are like all about the optimism. They tend to be those ones that you can tell they're clearly hurting, and it's like a coping mechanism. So I've never liked it. And you see, there's a lot of like the religious types too. You know, not the, I guess, devout word I'd use, where it's always about gratitude and that. And it's kind of one of those hardship ways of dealing with hardship. So whatever. Oh, by the way, that was for James S. with the $5 super chat. In honor of the optimism, let's just get the heartfelt out of the way. I saw it right at the start, and I figured we had to get in on it. All right, so I got to switch this to live, because sometimes it doesn't show me the guys. Positive thinking, law of attraction. No, it's not that. It's just more like, look, there's a lot of stuff to complain about. I get that. And I know on Twitter, I'm pretty much like the most acerbic person, and even on Substack somewhat. But things aren't bad. I mean, things are bad, but they're not bad everywhere all the time. It's just getting it out of the way early. Yeah, blame James for it. What got me started on this was Pearl, of all people. You're like, what? I'm like, yeah, it's in the thumbnail. She, so you guys, I don't know if you guys have been knowing this. I don't think it's a secret that she's been dating Nuclear Juadio. And I don't know how long they've been for now. And now she lost a bunch of weight. And he's always been telling you, I'm not black, I'm Dominican. And I guess that's proof. Anyways, so I haven't heard that side of things doing all the red pill talk. So I'm happy. Dude, I'm happy. She's dating a good guy. Thinner than ever. Nuke's happy as shit. Wonderful. Optimism is cowardice. Don't get me wrong. We're back to normal next time, but this one, it's just good things. Because I know, like, look, we can talk about this country doing that and your country doing this and politician A or politician B letting you down here or there. But on an individual level, people are seeming to be doing all right. Like I said, the evil red-pilled misogynists pulling out some W's. How can you not like that? How can you not like that? And of course, the internet provided too. You know me. I'm always on the lookout for one more internet spurg out, especially if you put it on video. And some new Italian dude decides to put out the F trophies for clout. I was like, oh no, what are we doing here? He's got like, it's on the thumbnail too. It was like him with like a handful of kids and talking about parenting or something like that. There's a little bit of rage, but it's optimistic rage. And so I'm like, sweet, throwing off the F trophies for clout. And he's like, actually, my satirical brother in Christ, it's meant as a satirical thing. I'm like, oh, unironically showing off the F trophy for clout. How awesome is that? But it's like quaint. You know what I mean? I found like the Andrew Tate 6 foot tall stuff and the F trophies for clout Matt Walsh stuff and the I'm never having these guys on my podcast again, big tittied Midwestern chick with the pixie cut and the cuck husband. I find all of this stuff quaint. I hate that channel. They always make red pillars look like buffoons. In fairness, red pillars make red pillars look like buffoons. And that's for one simple reasons. One is anybody, I mean, I know I'm lumping myself in this. Anybody who's willing to say I am a red pill dude on like their branding platform is an idiot. Idiot. Wait, don't you? Yes, I do. Idiot. That is the least attractive, least brand friendly thing you could say. I think Groiper might beat it out somewhat. Maybe. So just by even entering this space publicly, you're establishing, like, I am an idiot without taste. Yeah, but think of all the good work. Yeah. A lot of good work. A lot of great work. A lot of success. What the fuck are you doing here? You tell people? You tell people outside of the internet too? It's like, yeah, I was at a family dinner and they asked what I did for a living and I started talking red pills. I'm like, no, you didn't. There's no way. And then I realized, yeah, they're the ones that made themselves look like that. Did Ryan get high? He's in a great mood. No, I'm not in a great mood. After this, I got to go down to the mall and go shopping. And I hate the mall in Toronto on the weekends. But again, we're not doing that one. No, and the topic is just because it's, I mean, I've been talking about covert contracts a lot. I've been talking about boundary enforcement a lot. The workshop, I do a ton of good work. And I thought it might be good to put some things in perspective because the answer's always local. That's ultimately where this all kind of goes. The answer's always local because you've seen... so when it first starts, you first get here, it's like a fire hose of information. You read this, you read this, you read this. You're like, holy shit, it's like 6 months of reading. It's basically a course syllabus. Holy crap. I cannot believe this. And then it's like you start going through Esther Villar and you're like, oh my God, these broads are treating us like crap. Then you get through my girl giving me a coffee. Ooh. Thank you, fellas. Get yourself a girl that brings you a brand new French roast in a red morning mug. Use promotional code PROMOTION. Store.ryanstone.com for, it's like 10% off. You basically get it at cost at this point. It's just there to show a little love. That and to get Teespring, their little cut. Those devil bastards. So you get through Esther Villar, you're like, yeah, women treat us like shit. Fuck these broads. And you get through Glover and you're like, oh my God, I've been such a weenie my whole life. And you get through Smith and you're like, yeah, I can stand up for myself. And you get through Rollo and you're like, oh my God, I can read the code now. And then you get through who's the other one? I don't know why. I'm forgetting more of the sidebar than you guys have learned. Oh, Smith and that. You're like, oh my God, so much practical ideas here. And then you get through all of this stuff and it's great. And then you get through it all. And there's a certain group of people. They're like perpetual students. Oh, I got to learn more. I got to learn more. They're the ones that always find some esoteric shit. They're the ones that end up with like Spengler or Evola or some like, oh, well, it's natural that you got to go from here to read. And you're like, oh my God, Jesus. No, you don't. Things are allowed to have scope, sir. But of course, they buy into that with the same fervor. And the weirdest part is, like, they find their way here from either being zeroed out or some kind of romantic hardship or deficiency or whatever. But they're the type of person who just has an infinite desire for novelty to stave off, like, actual problems to deal with in life, right? And here's the optimistic part on those. Those guys don't matter. Those guys burn out because as fast as they come here, they leave and they go find something new and they try to bring the new thing in here and then everybody gets mad at them and then eventually they're onto a third new thing. I can point out, like, what is it, ADJ? I don't know what he's on now. Jack Murphy's doing health supplements. A lot of the chicks are on race realism. A lot of them. Like phrenology and all that kind of weird crap. And I'm just like, put aside whether you think it's real or not real or true or not true. Put all that aside. fuck are you doing? What are you bringing this in here for? How does this help anybody? How does this help a guy get laid? How does this help a married guy get his wife to stop sucking so much? How does this help a divorcing guy get some 20-year-olds on the rotation? It doesn't help for any of it. Yes, but you must understand the IQ in the country. And you're like, all right, let's just stay on topic. We're witnessing a huge paradigm shift. We've always witnessed, there's always a huge paradigm shift. There's never not been a world-changing paradigm shift. I wish I didn't read Valar. Came out of that pissed off. No wonder MRAs are angry. Here's the thing, though. Can of Rockstar. Long-time listener to the channel. First-time caller. Yeah. That's actually not a bad thing. That's kind of the point of it. I've talked about this before. I'll talk about it again. When you read Valar, when you first get here, it's meant to stoke anger, right? Meant to make you angry. Look how badly you're being treated. And it kind of, I don't know, I can't remember. It's been a while since I've read it. It's been 2 years since I've read it last, but it's anger at how you're being treated, but mostly because you're biologically wired to want to be treated that way. So there's a little bit of like, just so you know, this is how you're built. So you're going to have to be better. And you get very angry. And then you get so angry, you're like, you devour Rollo's first and second year blog. Yeah, kickstart the anger. And guys are already angry, but it's more of like a focus thing. And then you get through Glover, and you get through Smith, and you get through Claire, and you get through me. I guess I gotta start talking about me like I'm on the sidebar now. Like I'm not, but I like to think after 4 years and 10,000 copies, I think I've earned it at this point. I think I've earned it. And yes, that whiskey is called Writer's Tears. We'll get to that one in a second. Where was I going with this one? Oh, yeah. Anyways, so I've always told you guys too, like after a year of getting shit done, 2 years getting shit done, go back and read the sidebar again. And this is the part that I find absolutely brilliant about it. The part I find brilliant about it is everything takes on a new significance or new tone, a new underlying understanding. What's he mean by that? It's like, oh, dude. So Valar, read her first time. Fuck you. I can't believe we're being treated so bad. Fuck these bitches. You're angry. Anger gets your ass to the gym. Anger gets you to start reading books you haven't read since you were a teenager, and it was the Hardy Boys or Goosebumps or whatever the fuck you read. And then anger gets you talking to girls. You don't care. You're like, fuck these. They're just bitches. And you talk to one, you realize like with all this anger, you have like zero need for validation from any of them. And then some of them start responding well. If you don't believe me, the very first, I think it's first or second thing on the sidebar you're supposed to read is an essay, Confessions of a Reformed Incel. It's probably, I would argue it's one of my favorite field reports because this guy going through 12 years of being celibate and then finally realizing that his celibacy was kind of a choice. And he just stopped caring. And then everything started to work out for him. And then he kind of figured it out. So you go back and you read Valar at that point. I don't know, wife started acting a little bit better, or she stopped acting as bad. You're talking to some girls. Maybe you're getting laid, maybe you're not, but at least it's not nearly as bad as it was and things are getting better. And you start reading her again and you're like, oh, okay, so I see. Like, it's nobody's fault. Women are just running off of their programming and guys are running off of their hardware. And of course they're going to take advantage of guys. Guys, let them. And then you go through the stuff again and start making progress. You got your first threesome or something like that. Or your wife offers you a blowjob and it's not your birthday and it's start to finish. You're like, holy shit. And then you go back and you read the sidebar again. You go back to Valar and you're like, holy jeez, this angry broad fucking hates women. And you're just like, okay, just such a narcissist. Yeah. Yeah, just hates women. And that's when he clicks. You're like, oh, I get it now. I get it. And it's not that the book has changed. The book hasn't changed. It's you that have changed. It kind of lets you know, like, I'm starting to develop frame to the point where I'll read Esther Valar tell you about all the different biological ways women have been taking advantage of men and how in the land of abundance in 2026, year of our Lord, Alto Domini, or whatever the Latin is on it. And you go back and you're like, oh, like, how do you not just draw the fucking owl? You know that meme where it's like, how do you draw an owl? Like, well, just draw some circles and then draw the rest of the fucking owl. That's how most people's advice works. Oh, dude, just draw the owl. Just pick a good woman and you'll never get divorced. It's like, thanks, coach. All you have to do to win the race, just drive fast and turn left. Oh, thanks. Is there any details in the middle there that I maybe need to know? Is there any things I need to do to prepare? Is there any skills that might matter? It's like, nah, man. Drive straight, turn left. You got this. 50 laps, you're in. Exactly. Just be yourself. The only Peterson quote that stuck me through is cynicism is a precursor to wisdom. It's kind of what we're getting at here. You know what I mean? But you see what I mean? It's like there's an optimism that comes out the end of it where you see a lot of the stuff that used to make you angry or used to give you insight on how you've kind of been built to be a plow horse or whatever. And you see it now and it's almost quaint. Like you get it. I get it. Of course they're going to try to do that. You're not mad about it. I mean, you're not happy about it, but you're not mad about it. And you kind of do things. Of course, if you read Dread, I talked about this at the end with, I had one example of a guy named the Litz. Probably my favorite red-pilled guy of all time. Not the best guy, not the most prolific guy, but when it came to field report, like the whole putting in the work meme, if I had to define the meme, I would just say that's the Litz. For years, he would everything he posted was actions that he had done, the results that he got, and him having some self-reflection on, is that really the direction he wanted to go? Is he lying to himself? Is it better? What's the state? Like, what things can I accept and what things do I not have to accept? And it was a very interesting one because there's a lot of times where he was hard on himself, and justifiably so. Like, I think the biggest realization he had was that his wife probably wasn't going to change. Like, she got better, but she wasn't ultimately going to change no matter what he did. And he decided for himself, like, yeah, I'm not going to leave her. At least not until the kids are out of the house. And I think he was religious and he didn't want to cheat either. So he's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. And so he kind of was like, all right, so I've made the choice then I'm going to accept a subpar. Like, I don't want to be the red pill guy with like 8 9s and 10s, bro, hanging off of you. And he's like, I've made that choice. And he kind of came to terms with it. And it's not my place to shame him for doing one thing or the other one. That's his choice, his decision. He's making it eyes open. But it was just a wonderful example. A wonderful example. So yeah, cynicism. And the reason that cynicism is the precursor to wisdom is the same as this. Like when you're a cynic, you assume everybody's bullshitting you. So everything that somebody gives you as information becomes a first principles. Like, well, does it work for me? Do I put this bucket on my head? Do I even listen? It's going to do the don't listen to me like a spurg either, which one of my favorite whisper things out there. It was such a meta piece. If you guys don't know, he had 2 pieces that came out, and they always made me laugh. It's don't listen to me like a spurg, and don't treat me like I'm an asshole. Dude, I got to look this up. Give me a sec. Give me a second here. En minute. Don't talk to me like a bitch, and don't listen like a spurg. That's the one. They made me laugh. Anyways, I'm going to quote it just because the first paragraph, I couldn't do it on the fly. I have to just steal it. Hi, I am No Wang, and I'm a hopeless case. I'm Chinese, 5'1", 110 pounds, a virgin, and hopelessly shy. Women never notice me, and I can't muster up the courage to talk to them. I've never looked anybody in the eye. Last night, I go home and soak my pillow with tears, hating myself for me. I know I'll never be alpha, but please help me. Just tell me I'm hopeless then, so I can kill myself, except for I'm too much of a pussy to actually do it. I'm so miserable. Please help. He's like, you're talking like a bitch. Stop talking like a bitch. And he brings up the whole reasons that why you would talk like a bitch. And then he brings up, like, what do you mean by talking like a bitch? It's like, you're talking like a woman. Women have manipulation in the same way that guys have strength. You can throw a mean left hook. Wait, softbone's out? Anyways, you can throw a mean left hook. Women, on the other hand, cannot. So they... Oh, look at that. How about that? It is. We got a good celebration. I'll tell you that in a minute. So they have manipulation. And generally there's 5 categories that women manipulate. There is feeding your ego. There's getting angry. There's playing wounded or playing the victim. There's something called frame shifting. I think David Clare, though, talks about the hypnotic power of words, and he uses that example of it. And the 5th one, shame. Right? So what happens when guys are doing these talking like a bitch things, they're trying to play the wounded thing, which is because they learned it from women, because that's what women do. And you know why that works? It's because guys want to fuck them. Guys have an innate protective gene in their brain that wants to protect women and kids and puppies and brand new Camaros. It's like, no, I can't do this, man. I got to help them. And I'm not even exaggerating this. We literally get adrenal responses when you hear babies cry or women scream or dogs yelp. So it's like hardwired into us. Now you get a guy who was raised watching women use these tools to great effect. They think they can use it, so they start playing wounded too. To which a guy seeing another guy being wounded is the equivalent of seeing a guy and a dog and his owner seeing a steak that he moved 2 feet from the counter. He's like, well, he did put it within reach, so maybe it's my steak. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. Unless you're Hassan, especially if you're Hassan. He's the biggest astroturfed guy in the world, man. In the world. And he was like, yeah, so bitches talk like bitches because it works for bitches. But the second one is the one I'm talking about with cynicism. And don't listen like a Spurg either. And Spurgs, he means Spurgs is in Asperger's. Or Spurg, autism, overly literal. And that's where he talks about there's like process communication and like the signal and the noise. There's what I'm saying to you. Then there's all the things surrounding what I'm saying to you. Why is he saying that and not the other thing? Why did he bury the lead? Why is his body language the way it is? Why is he in a room that's neon blue with a copy of his book in front of here? Why is he talking to me on this podcast at all? In fairness, like just to break down what I'm doing right now, what's the process? I am explaining things that I know in the topic of optimism. Having said that, buy the fucking book. See what I mean? I don't actually say it, but everything in here is kind of geared towards that. That's the process of the communication. So you understand, okay, so this is work. Yeah, this is work. We're not Saturday afternoon blowing off some steam after working at the pulp mill, having a couple drinks. I am at work, and you are listening, and you are doing whatever it is you're doing, and we're all enjoying each other. I like to think that my nasally Canadian voice is helping you get through the day in whatever way I can. Problem is, you get autists and they take everything hyper literally, and they either dismiss it outright or buy into it wholesale. And that lack of cynicism causes problems, because if you dismiss everything outright, fuck, nobody knows what they're doing, I'm cynical. It's like, no, you're not cynical. You're just being needlessly acrimonious. I think acrimonious is the word I want to use there. Everything is wrong and everybody's stupid but me, and you're missing out on good stuff. At the same time, the guys who just jump into everything head first have like a series of buckets on their heads, and they're just doing the stupidest things. They're eating raw liver because the guy on steroids said, dude, raw liver's what did this. They're over there on HGH and TRT, and they're taking peptides, Chinese peptides. Like, dude, when has anybody looked at any manufactured good and had the word Chinese preface it and then been like, yeah, this is the stuff? Nobody's been like that. Nobody's been like that. Guys, I read this book called Morning Glory Milking Farms. Oh, which one of you guys fuck with Clary on that one? He texted me. He's like, dude, he sent one of his videos. I watch them when I can, but I miss a lot because he does a lot of them. And he's like, yeah, you got to watch it at the 30. And of course, it's Clary. He can't actually put a timestamp on. He's like, watch it 31:50. And I put it on. I'm like, what the heck's he talking about? And I watch, and he got the time 30 seconds off. So I'm like, it's just whatever. Like, yeah, you got to see my reaction. One of you idiots brought up the Morning Glory Milking Farm book, which I've got to do a review on still. It's there. And I just watching his face like, what the fuck? You made my day. And I did peptides. I don't even know what a peptide is. I'm assuming they're trying to, like, they use the word peptide because it's Ozempic sounding, but it's more scientific, but it's probably just some nothing. It's probably drywall dust. Yeah, women ruined literature. Well, it's not that women ruled literature. It's that bargain basement women ruined literature. Because Mary Shelley, she could crank out some good stories. Do yoga. Yeah. We used to do yoga. I used to do yoga. Now with my now with the current migration status in Canada, I no longer do yoga. Just leave it at that. We're doing positivity today. Mids ruin literature. Exactly. Where's I going with this one? Oh yeah, the listen like a Spurg. So yeah, the cynicism gets you to wisdom because everything is approached with like a very selfish, like, why do I want to do this? And it shouldn't be a sales pitch either. Like, I shouldn't have to, I mean, me, but the royal me, we shouldn't have to sell anybody on anything. I shouldn't have to sell you guys on red pill this or that. Because if I have to sell you on it, then you didn't want it. You know what I mean? I'd have to manipulate you somehow to get there. I'd have to use sales tricks and promise the moon and, oh dude, you no idea, it's like Spanish fly, they'll suck your dick, and you're like, oh wow. You're like, no, you shouldn't have to sell this. Personally, like, I enjoy talking about the stuff. I enjoy writing about the stuff. I enjoy my own, like, spurging out about the stuff just because I find the topic interesting and I find it personally useful. And one thing that I've learned more than anything, and I pass this on to the guys in the workshop all the time, is that the best way to learn something is to teach it. The best way. You retain like 90% of what you learned when you have to teach it. Because when you teach it, you have to articulate it to somebody else, which means you have to understand it on a fundamental level. B, you're repeating and reiterating the things you have learned all the time. It's been 10 years. I know what the fuck I'm doing at this point. At least I hope so. The peptides did get me stronger. Peptides are certain protein chains the body can synthesize or use. So it sounds like meat. You know what? I'm out. I'm of the old school mentality that whey protein and creatine powder are the only two supplements that you require, unless you want to go into steroids. I'm with Andrew Tate's Romanian passport here. Steak helps my body get stronger. Exactly. Yeah, that's how I got good at fitness. And everybody's kind of got to get there now. You have to get better at stuff, because what else are you going to do with your time? As much as I waffle between calling Canada Rhodesia 2.0 and Argentina 2.0, which I still find that funny, by the way. We're not just positive one, but it's just so funny how the big argument in Canada is whether we're India, China, Argentina, or Rwanda, or Rhodesia. Makes me laugh. But yeah, even with all that stuff, still got shit to do, man. Isn't peptides branch chain? Wait a minute. You mean to tell me with peptides, that's just BCAAs? And they just try to give it a fancy new name? Are you kidding me? Oh my God. Do with time, paint Warhammer. Well, and there's guys that go hardcore into that. They'll teach you how to paint. They'll show you, like, there's a painting technique called slap chopping. You guys seen this one? A lot of you guys are like, what the hell are you talking about? Like the snap chopper? Like the thing? Yeah, I know it's true. I've watched the thing. I was like, oh, slap chop, that's cool. Ideally, what it is guys who have giant Warhammer armies. And they don't want to go through like 50 hours per figure painting them all the same. It's like a mechanized process to get them all done. And the idea is they spray base coat colors in like as if it was a light source. So you quickly spray it down in a direction, so it gives it a certain light source. Then you quickly spray it up a different one. And the idea is it gets all of like the main detail stuff out of the way right at the start. Yeah, guys always need a hobby that's zen. Miniature painting, one such hobby. Yep. It's funny too, when I was in fleet school, our hobbies was gardening. A lot of guys had a garden. Boss walked in one day and there was like 20 of us in the bullpen. We're talking, and I was talking about how I'm basically I was in a giant war. Like I had a slug infestation in my yard. And so it was a constant fight between the slugs and orchids. I remember I found one right in the middle of eating one of my orange orchids, and I just like dumped a thing of I salted the ground, and he suffered a little. I watched him too. I felt like it was an episode of 24 and Jack Bauer just found the guy who released the biological weapon into LA County. Okay, so you know slap chop, you hate it, but it's a necessary evil. Yeah. Heck, I've even seen those, but yeah, it's just it's something to do that's repetitive. It's not productive. It's leisure time stuff. And the best part about it is, like, for guys who do this stuff online, is that other people latch on to, they like seeing people who give a shit about what they do. I think that's the big thing. There's a theory floating around on this actually when it comes to AI, which got me thinking. Where, you know how AI is flooding everything right now, right? YouTube is shit. YouTube Shorts are shit. Twitter shit. Everything is an AI generated something. All the videos are AI generated. Most of the time they don't even make sense. Like if you ever watch a do-it-yourself YouTube short that's made from AI, it's always like dangerous advice. Well, the trick to it, and the guy would like, anyways, the point of this is we're getting to a point where it's reaching saturation, and I'm kind of seeing, it'll be slow because I kind of see like the front end of the thing because we're online, and you see a lot of people just kind of getting sick of it, and they're kind of tuning out. And I think what's going to happen now as a result of this over AIification, assuming the AI market doesn't bottom out or the energy market dries up, assuming one of those two things don't make it fiscally irresponsible to use AI, is you're going to get a return to expertise. Even using AI stuff, you're going to you need somebody with a face and a name and an address that you have to trust that curates stuff for you. I think that's going to be the new thing. But again, and I was like, that's such an optimistic thing because it's very easy to look at this flood of slop. There's porn slop. As far as I can tell, there's like AI apps specifically out there to make people you know in real life get naked and suck dicks, which I'm like, what? It's on the creepy side, but the cat's out of the bag. Pandora's box is out, and there's enough creepers out there that's just going to happen. There's ones where they just like generate like weird Warcraft porn shit, like Rule 34 stuff. It's like, all right, whatever. But then you got the same thing geopolitically too. You got some app telling you just bullshit, and you can't trust who made it. It's just as likely that, Paramjeet from Bangalore is saying some shit to make some money and just scamming you, or an Air Force base in Virginia is doing this to psyop you, or some politician in Montana is doing this to like get an election, or it's just some soccer mom in Detroit who just wants to put stuff together and cares. You can't tell the difference. You can't. So what do you do with this? Well, you get enough Params from Bangalore, you get enough soccer moms from Detroit, you get enough politicians and Air Force bases to do this stuff, you reach saturation. Then when you get saturation, you're back to the place you were before. Out of all of this sea of stuff, you find some guy who just has a niche interest in something. And it's like, yeah, I've been looking through all this stuff. These are shit. This is pretty good. He literally curates your ultra niche thing for you. And I think that's where we're going, which I think is great. Because we're literally back to like first gen internet Usenet forums, where it was just the guy who cared the most and autistomized his niche the most was the one who won. You would read alt.fast.seduction. That's where the best pickup guys were, because that's the only place where you could go, and it was hard to get in there. And by the time you made it there, you clearly gave a shit. Even the men's rights guy, there was alt.something.men's rights. I can't remember the Usenet forum for it. I never went to it. I was just old enough to know of Usenet, but to have never used it. So like the GopherNet, the Usenet, BBS sites, I knew of them. I think I did a BBS once. If you guys don't know what a BBS is, by the way, it's like picture the internet, but you have to call a friend. It was for video games. It was like a Nintendo line, and you would call this phone number, and then it would connect your computer to theirs, and then it was like a phone call internet session. It was just so. It's not like the modems where you connect to the World Wide Web. There was no World Wide Web. It was just Billy's web. Yeah, it's always been this way. Well, it's not so much that it's always been this way or not, because it has always been this way. The technology has just made it faster and easier. And so people are going to have to adapt. And really, the only people who are going to lose out on this are the boomers, man. The boomers are fucked. They still believe everything they see on TV. There's those new Sora videos of like cats playing instruments and soccer moms kicking them off the lawn and shit. People are believing that. Like, we're so done. But the point of this, but the saturation point is going to come, and when it comes, people are going to be sick of it. And the stupid are going to lose their money, and the smart are not going to, and they're going to figure out a way to adapt to it. So just hopefully you're not stupid. Because I'm not going to lie, man. There was like, the reason that kind of got on that one is there was this celebration yesterday or day before yesterday. I can't remember which. Anyways, two things happened yesterday, and I know it's an optimism episode, but these are not optimistic things. The first one was an attack on a nightclub in France. 150 people were butchered by Islamic terrorists, right? And because they wanted to keep social cohesion, they basically swept it under the rug. Horrific things, by the way. And that was completely wiped. You couldn't find anything of it. Second story, Canadian Forces, our new chief of defense staff, I can't remember what her name is. She's basically an LGBT lesbian type, which, whatever. Anyways, I've been trying to find it forever because it got scrubbed from the internet too. There was a story in Iraq, or was it Afghanistan? No, Afghanistan, during their retreat, where she had tried to abandon, as the commanding officer, tried to abandon her troops, leave her post, brought a designer rug and told the Americans they had to, I outrank you and you've got to fly me out of here. And the Americans, to their credit, was like, we're not going to help you desert your troops. That's a treasonous offense. So go fuck back and take your goddamn rug. Canadian Forces Chief General fucking Big Lebowski, the rug pulls the room together. Got scrubbed from the internet. You cannot find it. The only place where I had found it was there was a small Canadian Forces subreddit that had one guy telling a story that the mods removed and you could find it in an archive. It was fucking crazy. Anyways, so the point is, these are like real things that happened. Completely scrubbed. At the same time, there was this World War I thing about the Harlem Hellcats or something like that. Some black World War I army regiment. Which, whatever. But there was this one guy talking about getting his charge, like, from the French. He got an award from the French, and he was this great soldier here, and blah, blah, blah. And everybody's celebrating it. And I was like, that's curious. Like, as a kid, I was a World War I nut. I loved, like, the World War I Air Force, Rene Fonck, Brown, the Red Baron himself, Manfred. Oh, dude, I loved all that shit. So I'm like, I'm going to look at this. I'm like, I've never heard of this before. What is this? So I look, you go to his wiki page, and it was like, and it's not the first time I've seen this on things either. Every single link, every source that they cite on his wiki page was made after 2015, which I always find very odd. It's like, dude, you mean to tell me this never existed, then in 2015 it just pops up out of nowhere? It's fucking weird. So I start clicking through the links, and every single one of the links is just like the same slop. There was one photograph, AI augmented, and that was like my first indication that something was up. It's like, dude, this photo from 120 years ago looks this good and this crisp. No, this is AI. Turns out Obama gave a grant to this guy who wrote a book talking about this, and then you read his thing. It's like to get you to think critically about, and it had like the you remember the aliens guy who always says every, like, the Egyptian pyramids, aliens. It was like one of those kind of vibes with how he's talking. Anyway, so there's no existence of this at all. But then the one thing I found, and I'm like, oh, this whole World War I black soldier is bullshit, is he had, in the photo, he has his Charles de Gaulle medal or whatever, which was issued for the First World War. And then you read and you find out, oh, he was issued it after his death, posthumously, whatever, in like 2015. And I'm like, wait a minute. So how's he have the medal on if it was 100 years later? And then I'm like, oh, this whole thing is just made up after. How much of history is made up? So everything is getting made up. It's all started right around the same time, right around the first Trump thing. I don't say Trump did it. I'm just saying that's the time it did it. It's probably because it was the end of Obama and he had to start jamming some stuff in. AI is flooding everything. People are going to be automatically more cynical and distrusting, and that gives me a sense of hope. It gives me a sense of hope. It means people are fucking over it. It means the COVID thing. Look, the COVID years sucked. I was in Ontario, Canada, which was in the top 3 worst COVID lockdowns in the world. I think there was one of the counties in Australia and New York City were the only ones in that same thing. A bomb blast in Delhi. Oh, that sucks. 13 died. Sucks for them, man. I'm going to save up to get Google Oculars. Well, technically, Johnny. Oh, Null, 10 euro super chat. Thank you very much, sir. Cheers to you. That's all he offered me was the 2 little glasses clinking together. Cheers to you. Johnny Trejo's here is like, I'm going to save up to get Google Oculars in my eyes in 10 years. I get what he's doing. He's from the story. It's from the story. But technically, Google doesn't have Oculars. It's kind of like a side story. It's the Silmarillion of Softbone, but the idea was Google was the king of the internet in the before times. And then they developed AI, and for a while, all was good. Now, with their advertising, they had put an Indian guy in charge as CEO. This is a fictional story, by the way. Indian dude is a CEO, and he started adding ads to everything in Google to the point that Google search didn't work anymore. So they developed AI as a way to have it search for you wade through the slop and give you the answers of things you need. And for a while, everything was good. And then techs at Amazon did some corporate espionage and poisoned the AI training with the slop. And so the AI training turned into slop. And then the whole thing turned in. Google had like a 20% devaluation. Amazon came in with a hostile takeover that week. It was moving super fast. And then in the book, there's like, how come Amazon is the big corporate baddie? And that's how. Little corporate espionage has taken over everything else. Samsung was wiped out during the, and so were Sony in the Sino-Nippon Wars. China genocided the Japanese. Now, mostly that's because in Cyberpunk, everybody has always got a hard-on for Japan, like very weebish. So I'm like, let's have a genocide. Japan is dead. I was like, good. Did not expect to hear me talk about your hometown, Bangalore, the Silicon Valley of India. I wasn't going to, but this is the positivity episode, so yeah. I know in India, I've only ever been to Chennai, to be fair. I've been to Chennai and then up and down the coasts. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I don't want to go back. Not like a bald and bankrupt who's jumping on the poop festival thing, but whatever. Positivity episode. Moving on. The optimism episode. But yeah, when he's talking about the Google Oculars for the eyes in 10 years, I liked the idea. I just liked the idea of high tech, low life, and with the Cyberpunk, it was just so much fun to work with that and then build a story. Yeah, I had to stop working when I hear it. So back to the topic at hand. Like, don't listen like a Spurg, right? You get a lot of guys who aren't listening like Spurgs anymore. They don't just automatically dismiss or wholeheartedly accept anything they hear anymore. And it's like a new meme I have at this point. This was, which year was this? This is, I want to say it's 2015. 2015. So it's like, you know my little meme I do now where it's like, hey, the 2012 red pill just called. They want their talking points back. Where everybody right now is talking as if it's like 2012 in the red pill. Everywhere. It is so funny to see. Because now you can kind of have like a little bit of predictive powers. Like, oh, okay, so I already can tell in 3 years there are going to be some Spurgs going off about Evola and race realism, and then there's going to be a bunch of like really good stuff coming out, and then people are going to understand the ultimate solution to things is not about saving the world or electing a guy or whatever. Your solutions are always local. Which again, optimistic thing. If the solution to your problems is always local is the thing you have the most control over. What do you mean by local? Well, it's like your family, your immediate surroundings. If your life is really not working for you, you move where your life is. And it's like little things. Example, tons of guys, oh, I can't get laid. This is horrible. I can't find a girl. Where do I get the girls? And you're like, all right. And they always play it like there's some universal answer. Well, the trick to girls is you do your magic spells. Like, no, well, let's get some questions. First off, where are you now? And they'll always say like Boise. I don't even know if Boise is a good example, but like some small town, 10,000 people. There's no women there. And the few that are there are getting married at like 18. You're like, well, there's your first answer. You have to go to somewhere urban with a large population. Otherwise, you're never going to date. You're going to have to wine and dine everybody and hopefully get whoever in the musical chairs couldn't find the better one to lock down. But I don't want to do that. I'm a mechanic here, or I'm a tree farmer, or I'm a logger, or I'm a miner, and it works good money. And it's like, yeah, well, A, you're making a decision. You've made a trade-off, the lack of women for a paycheck, and that's the choice you've made, which, again, don't bitch about it then. But at the same time, what do you need the money for? Well, I want the money so I can have a house and a wife and this. All right, well, if this money is clearly not getting you a woman, then maybe you don't need this money. Something to think about. What do you mean? I could just say no? It's like, yeah, you don't. How much money do you need? Well, I just need more. No, you don't. There's tons of guys who earn more and don't do shit with it. There's crypto bros that earned like $50 million. You know what they do with it? They buy dumb shit and then they have some girl swindle them out of it. It's like, why did you go through all the trouble of earning that money just to give it away and lose it stupidly? Degenerate gambling addicts. Why did you earn all that money if you're just going to throw it away? Did you ever consider just not earning that much? And you're going to end up in the same place anyway? It's like that old adage about the guy wants to go fishing in his retirement, and then the poor Mexican guy's like, I can fish now. Yeah. Paul Bauer managed to find his gal in the cow pasture. Is that where he found her? Oh, what's this I hear? Podcast Paul got fucking booted from Twitter. Sons of bitches. He had the most family-friendly Facebook tier boomer memes on Twitter. How in the fuck do you get him banned off of there? That scares the shit out of me. Shout out to him, by the way. Good guy. I've always liked his stuff. He's very red-pilled, and his approach is like an extremely accessible one. I've got nothing but patience and time for him, but it is annoying how they got him off of Twitter of all the things. Also, you're probably thinking the other Paul. Oh no, you're right. That Paul is Cow Pasture Paul. We'd Archwinger stuff from the old Reddit, the most See, you guys don't remember the old Archwinger like I do. He was not an optimistic man at all. I hope he doesn't mind me talking out of school for this one, but I still remember there was a brief subreddit that the guys made called Women Hate or something like that. It was very Elliot Roger coded, and it was just like, fuck these bitches. It was just like a fuck these bitches subreddit, and it was like, there was like him and a couple other guys who just loved to go in there and it's like, hey, you know what I fucking hate? And it's the greatest because normally you get like women hate stuff and it's like incels or third worlders, and it's always just like this cringe awkwardness. Like these guys are like, you've seen Arch, successful, social, like money, lawyering, all that stuff. And so when he had a critique and a takedown, oh my god, it was the most savage shit ever. He had a one-man war against like the chicks that were in purple pill debate and blue pill for the while there. It was a better time, man. Like even the hate was just so much funnier. Yeah, that's right. Come on, Paul with Nurse Chick. Anyways, so speaking of optimistic classics. Oh, it is low. There we go. We're back. Volume on the bits is low. Yeah, there's a bit of sound from the mic. That's just on me. I'm breathing too much. We got it in here. Anyways. Yeah, there's like 3 Tekken for pennies, by the way. There's a 2.5 minute bit and there's 2 30-second bits. I'm actually really mad. I'm still mad about Tekken. How they just like turned it into a gambling coin flip simulator. The whole marketing was set up. Everything was. I was already did like a bunch on Tekken 7. I was like top 10% player, like just short of tournament level good. Oh, it was so great, and then the game had to suck. That's something I learned, by the way. If you're ever doing if you want to have a gaming career on Twitch or YouTube or whatever, never commit to one game because that's just a business risk you can't worry about. In fact, like with the Tekken stuff, just watching it now. And this is kind of like a good risk analysis for any business you're in when you rely on a third party for your income stream. So there's this guy, he calls himself Eris, avoiding the puddle. It's like a kick from Yoshimitsu, a move from Yoshimitsu. He names his channel after that. That's how you know this guy's into Tekken. His whole channel name is this. So he got into season 3 of this and he was starting to notice how stupid everything was getting, and he saw like the way the winds were blowing and he's just like, I'm out. And he starts tweeting and doing other stuff. But a lot of guys kind of got mad at him and they're sticking with it. And then Tekken 8 came out. There's a couple creators. One was Mainman Sui. Another one's Spaghetti Rip. Anyways, you know the gaming names. So the first season comes out and everybody's like, oh, this is horrible. It was like the only content you could make there was like talking about how horrible it was. And then the second season came out and they doubled down to make it even more horrible. And some guys who were like, a Spaghetti Rip used to be or Spag. Yeah, he was an announcer, and eventually the Namco team kicked him off the thing, so he lost his income there. He lost his ability to stream there because nobody's wanting to watch it anymore. And so now he's in this place now where what can I do? And all he could do was like still suck up about the game and talk about how great it was, even though his audience kind of left him over it. Mainman Sui, and I think Eris put it the best where he's like, you look over at one of the game developers, then you look at your family, and you're like, all right, I guess I got to eat shit with a smile here. And it was just so funny to watch all the people that were latched onto it. Now, fakely forced, like, well, this is it. This is the game. And if I don't cheerlead this game, I don't have a career and my family doesn't get to eat. And then the guys who were smart just started like moving on. They're like, I'll take the hit now while it's still early and go do a variety of things. And I was like, that's just a wonderful lesson to learn from a bunch of other people who are willing to learn it the hard way for you. Yeah, Can of Rockstar gets it. It's the same with only having one plate. If her circle sucks, they'll try to take you down because chicks can't be happy for each other. Absolutely. If you have multiple plates and let's say one plate starts acting crazy, starts acting clingy, starts doing weird shit, you're going to act clingy and weird and do weird shit too because that's your only option. If you have multiple plates, or even a business thing. If you're a Minecraft streamer, Microsoft fucks up Minecraft, you're fucked. It fucks up Tekken, you're fucked. Red pill. Now, the red pill's not quite as bad because there's no singular red pill thing. There's no individual person that could screw up the red pill. Having said that, I just put 2 advertisements out there of a guy who kind of did. If you make your whole thing only the red pill, you're basically just waiting for somebody to ruin it for you. Kind of like Gavin McInnes and the Proud Boys. Remember the Proud Boys? Oh, they were the coolest shit. Coolest thing back then. Oh, dude, the Proud Boys. They're fighting Antifas. Great. And then FBI's like, by the way, terrorists. All of a sudden it wasn't cool to be Proud Boys anymore. Imagine those guys. This is all I had was being a Proud Boy. Now what do you got? Nothing. FBI informant. Nothing. So again, I find it's a source of optimism. If you just keep your eyes open, you can find life lessons in the most obscure places. Like I said, Gavin McInnes with his little punks fighting people on the streets and a Tekken stream, and you're learning the same lesson from both of them. Diversify. Hence, fiction. Hence, Softbone. Okay, so now I'm doing ad then the announcement. Ooh, fuck. Why have I not? Give it.
I love the way girls smell. I love how they always make sure, by and large, they shower, and they just have an amazing smell to them in general.
So you're saying the ads are low. Here, let me do me a favor. This is Max. Max ad.
I love the way girls smell. I love how they always make sure.
See what I mean? That's maximum volume. I cannot turn it up any louder. So I don't understand what the hell is going on with this thing. Oh, wait, you know what? I have a feeling. I gotta see something. If so, I'm gonna be so angry at Microsoft. I fucking knew it. Oh, I knew it. Let me guess. Everything just got really loud, right? Let me see. Does this one sound better?
I love the way girls smell. I love how they always make sure, by and large, they
I love how we're doing sound checks right now. You know what's happening? Every time I have to open up StreamYard for whatever reason, StreamYard keeps dropping the volume by 50%. They keep dropping the volume on this goddamn thing, and I can't stop them from doing it. It's driving me nuts. Yeah, the image of Coach watching these ads in a quiet room with the volume down. Oh, dude, it's dead silent out here. Everything is in here. Yeah. All right. I'm to move on from there. Heard StreamYard made a whole host of changes recently. It probably did. I cannot understand, though, why they keep doing it this way. Like, why do they keep changing my settings? And I don't even know if it's just StreamYard. It might be other people, too. Like other apps. But it's fucking... I'm trying to run a business here. Anyways, Softbone, the announcement. Yeah, it's messing a lot of channels up. It absolutely is, which is kind of annoying. God knows I pay him like $500 a year, and I barely use the thing. Softbone. Softbone has an announcement. The audiobook is out. Holy shitballs. There it is. Pin that message. You guys were like, Ryan's been doing a move into fiction, and I've heard really good things. The Dog Walker was actually a surprisingly good book. I would have never thought to read contemporary fiction. But this one is good, and other people have said it's good. Oh, wow, a cyberpunk sci-fi adventure. Holy shit, I never knew this thing was it. And it's got some Red Pill themes on it, too. Holy shit. That's awesome. But you know what? I'm not a reader. I'm like, I got you, fam. I read it to you. I'll read it to you. So you can go right now. It's there for audiobook. And from what I remember, it's probably, they say it's on, I think ACX puts it on all the different platforms. I don't think it's on, fuck, I got. I don't know how the fucking tech works, but I know it's on Audible. I think they also put it onto iTunes and Spotify, but you're gonna have to check it. Softbone is like Shadowrun sprinkled in with a little red pill. I love it for that so far. Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's like my inspiration for... You remember RoboCop, the movie? How they kind of did satirical takes there. They kind of had everything so absurdist. I kind of took from that. And then I gave it red pill themes. Because red pill themes are... Dude, if you want to write books or do movies or animations or comics or whatever, the red pill is the place to go. The themes are just popping out at you. There's hundreds. You just go to Rollo's blog, go to the first 2 years. Every single essay is a premise and a moral message for a book in there. And that's just him. You can go into any of the other 20 books in the sidebar and you'll find hundreds of them. So it's like there's a never ending look. And this is why I'm actually surprised. Like, you know, when you see Rollo and me were talking, we're like, well, where are the creative people? There was Captain Savaho, and that's been basically it. You guys have no idea how much material is just laying down there for somebody, aspiring storytellers and entrepreneurs to just go hog on it. You would have no idea. So yeah, now the audiobook is out, so I'll read it to you. Oh, and good news on that point, the second draft of Softbone 2 is finished. I am currently finishing off the third draft. It'll probably be done in about 2 weeks. And I'm sending it off to Nick. He's going to do all the editing. And then Softbone 2 will be ready. But I'm trying something new this time. I'm going to do a Kickstarter. Because the one thing I've been very curious about, and I noticed with Kickstarter, it looks really good, is that you set milestones for it. So depending on how interested you guys are in it, I can scale up what it provides. So if it's just the same interest as my other books, that's fine. Here's the book, enjoy it, have fun. If people have more interest in it, it could be, oh, okay, so we're going to do like fancier printing, a box set thing. Maybe I'll hire a different artist for the cover of these and do like new cover art on that one. Or, you know, maybe I'll provide extras. And then the more popular it gets, the more extras I provide. And I thought that was like a really neat thing. Because then it's like I never have to worry about me not giving you guys enough. Because I would hate to be... Yeah, I liked it, but I wish this. I never want to hear like, oh, I wish it was this. Oh, they all make money. Don't get me wrong. None of my books have ever not done well for a return on investment, so I'm never worried about that. It really is. And look, I say this all the time, and I get it, but I really have taken the approach this whole time that I will work to give you $10 of value for every $1 in return I get, and then I'll make up my side of the thing with scale. It's been like that when we had the online conference. It's been like that for my 21Con speeches. It's been from the after parties of those speeches. It's been from the sidebar videos, the YouTube stuff, the Substack articles, all of it, right? I like how Tool has special CD cases with album art on album releases. Yeah, it's like something like that. And that's once I finish the writing, that's where I got to look into like, what is it that I can do? I'm going to look at what other people have done, what other people respond to, and just kind of start going that route. We'll see what happens. I guess the only thing that gets me is shipping, because Canada's postal service has been doing a lot of strikes, getting a lot of layoffs, and the prices have been going kind of insane. So I really want to make sure I can get procurement handled in the US, because if it's here, it's going to rack the prices up just for fucking government regulations, and I do not want to give the government a fucking dime if I don't have to. Fuck those people. Fuck Carney and fuck the government. I'm not giving them. I would rather see Make America Great Again, make a pretty penny off of this one and put some kids in college. You know what I mean? And then that works for me too. Like, yeah, sure, I won't be able to make as much as I could if I just did it without any bells and whistles, but like, fuck, whatever. To be fair, when it comes to getting a path to citizenship American visa, more... I don't know what the word for it, clout, I guess, would work better for me anyway than money. So I'm more than happy to let American companies take the lion's share of the profits on this one. As long as it's like, dude, nice, come on in. Yeah, some Chinese kids. So it'll be fun. And you'll like it too, man. Like the second Softbone, I gotta admit, I understand now why people like Colleen Hoover and J.K. Rowling just rewrite their same book multiple times, because it's something I didn't know about sequels. And I'll let you in on it too, when you have like a universe that you've built for it. So the first universe is perfect. This is probably a good reason why the new Star Wars sucks so much. When you build a world, your world is built for the characters and the story. Softbone 2, man, that's the new project. In other words, when I decide to give Amazon free reign on the city in Softbone, when I decide to talk about Samsung and the drone war and stuff like this, everything is designed for the character Jake Long, Buck, Nancy, Cindy, and all that stuff. When you put a sequel in there, though, is now there's a different moral message, a different set of themes, a different thing. And now I have all of these tools and solutions that are built for the first book's moral messages, the first book's symbology. It's almost like you have a bucket of random Legos and you got to use it to build a whole different thing, which is, it's a challenge. And I think I solved it, which is kind of fun, but it's one of those things you never thought of. I understand now why people don't like sequels, because you're basically having to put a square peg into a round hole. And if you're good, you can figure it out. But then I get it from the audience side of things. I like this. I want more of this. So it's always like, which way do you go with this? Anyways, it's very interesting. I'm not sure if you guys are interested in the creative side of things, but follow me on Substack. I'll probably be talking a lot more about it in the future. Anyways, that's... Wait, you guys aren't getting any sound on that one? Are you kidding me? Hold on a second. I gotta do this again. What's going on? That's weird. All right, so it turns out that is... I don't know what the hell that problem is then. No media audio. Well, it looks like I got a bunch of troubleshooting to be doing this weekend. That'll be fun. Just enough to know there's a sound. Yeah, that thing's maxed out. All right, well, I'll have to figure that out. Kind of annoying, though. Hey, is anybody actually listening to this on the shorts, by the way? I wasn't sure about that. Let's go back to subject. I think we've talked enough about Softbone. 1 second here. I got my notes. Oh, yeah, the Pearl thing. I'm going to go back to that. By the way, I almost forgot. When we're done here, Rule 0 is going on next, and I think it's Nuke. Give me a second here. We'll do this one early so I don't forget. Oh, man, I always love the Salt Lake sit-downs. No, I can't see who's... Oh, there it is. Jack's running it. Powerful lessons from the Book of Book. Can't afford to miss. Rule 0. So we're going to go straight to there next. The Pearl thing. Dude, I found this fucking enjoyable. It's the... Just get comfortable here. Get comfortable. Unk's going to have a story. There was this chick back in the 2010s. Name was Lacey Green. I don't know if you ever heard of her. She was kind of like a chipmunk-looking girl. Like, artfully plump. I don't know how to describe it. She was like a... I think they call those ones spinners. Nothing wrong with her. She kind of had like a Velma from Scooby-Doo look to her. Anyways, she was a sex-positive feminist. And you're like, what? Aren't they supposed to be sex-negative? Feminists can be anything they want. As long as it's pro-woman and anti-man, it's feminist. And she was talking about men ain't shit, blah, blah, blah. I hate Christianity. I hate my dad, blah, blah, blah. And it was just, that was it. Her whole thing was just hating. Just a hater channel, 100%. And then she ended up getting a boyfriend. And I guess her boyfriend was like based. Back when they like, what does based mean? They're like, oh, based means they're based. Like, all right. And then all of a sudden, it was like a week later, her entire content changed. Like, you know when your man-hating feminist gets a boyfriend, when all of a sudden they start talking MRA talking points, it's like to a T. Did you know that 70% of divorce? It's like, holy Jesus. She's talking about men are great this and men are great that and this, that, and the other thing. And oh my God. And it turns out, and everybody's like, what the hell's going on? Like, oh, she's got a boyfriend now. And it was some nice guy. And it was just like, it was such a common thing that I didn't notice until after that. I started calling it the Lacey Green effect. And it's the idea that when a girl gets a man, they calm the fuck down and turn into wonderful people. So the reason I put Pearl up there is because I was seeing the same thing. She ended up getting with Nuke. She ended up losing a bunch of weight. She was posting. She used to make fun of chicks dressed up provocatively and showing off on social media. And then she lost a bunch of weight. She got with Nuke, and now she's doing it. And I'm like, that's fucking awesome. Good for her. She's happy. Her content has gotten more like enjoyable and everything. And it's like, I find this is the best poster child example of why people are fans of the red pill. You know? What do you mean? Nuke, man. He's the red pill guy that chicks are just yelling at on Twitter. They're yelling at on Twitter. They're yelling at on YouTube. They're dropping they're calling him the wrong racial slurs. That's why he had the whole joke of I'm not black, I'm Dominican. Just fucking hordes of foids. I think foids is what they call them, like female femoids or whatever. It just means like, you know, shitty chicks. And they were shitting on him and he's horrible this and his opinions are bad and his things are garbage. Bam, he gets with Pearl. Pearl turns into a wonderful human being. It's like, dude, think about this. Every one of these red pill assholes you've been shitting on, as soon as one of you starts dating one, you turn into a nice person. How about that? So I find that's awesome. That's like great. Nuke has probably done more benefit to anybody who's talking red pill than anybody else. More than Tate, more than Rolo at this point. Hey man, I did the stuff and everybody's cool. It's like, oh fuck, right on. Like Nuke says, I'm not a good man. It's like when he says that, he doesn't actually mean he's not a good man. Because first off, good is a value judgment that doesn't really help. Like good for who? Nuke is good for Nuke. Nuke is good for the people that Nuke likes. That's what Nuke is. Nuke is not a good man in the universal sense. He's not going to sacrifice himself for some stranger he's never met. Yeah, I never saw it coming either. I'm not going to lie to you. I never saw it coming. I'm not too proud to admit when I was wrong. And Nuke, you son of a bitch. Also, one of these guys was asking about Orion. Nothing's up with Orion. It's just crunch time with the book. And so I've had to like put aside the small projects in favor of the big one. We'll probably get back on it. I owe you guys a video of Born in East LA. But, oh man, nobody gave a shit about the trailer. So I might just move on. There's been a bunch of like movies that I've been just dying to get in on there. Gremlins, Critters. I don't know, some of the old fun ones like that. Anyway, we'll see. Yeah, it was the perfect comeback to Puritans. Yeah. Sam Whiskey, $4.99 super chat. Hey, Icarus, I think that shirt flew too close to the sun. You don't like this one? This is my Vietnam jungle Hawaiian shirt. Oh. We'll see. I got it back on the pink. It's getting cold here in the winter, and so when the winter comes in, it was either going to be this or my Bill Cosby sweater today. I don't know how much of a thing they are. I just know what they put online about it. So, and I don't want to ask because it's somebody else's personal life. But if they put it online, it's fair game. For all I know, it could just be done for the clout, and I'm fine with that. About to watch Gremlins for the first time. Dude, what you're going to love about Gremlins is that it was meant to be a Christmas movie. It's R-rated, and it's like cute things, but back then the cute things also killed people. So yeah, it's just, we were a lot less sensitive in the 80s, you know, as a society. Coach, I got to get you a cool shirt. I have a lot of shirts, to be fair. If you look into my closet, other than the Hawaiian shirts for work, it's a very conservative outfit. or a very conservative wardrobe. Speaking of small projects, I built 2 nether hubs on the server, one on the roof, one on the ground. Oh, dude. Did you use that giant empty pit that the fuck's the guy's name? I'm drawing a blank at the name right now, but he built one where it was like 256 blocks, a completely empty thing in the thing. God, nothing could make me happier, by the way. So Santiago brings up a good point. If I can get one of these books to do like that top 0.1%, like if I ever get like a Colleen Hoover banger where one of the books does 10,000 sales first month kind of book, I'll fucking gone. You'll see me like playing Minecraft all day. That's it. Like, I'm done. Kind of like multiple Child's Play dolls, but Chucky, but in Christmas time. Sort of. They're a bit more playful though. And Gremlins had a weird thing, like with Gremlins 2, where from what the rumors are, is the director didn't want to make another Gremlins movie, but the studio forced him to, and they paid him. So he turned it into like a satirical taking the piss on the whole genre. To the point where they have like a cameo by Hulk Hogan in there threatening Gremlins and stuff. It's one of those ones that's good. It's that you can tell that movies like Gremlins 2 are the stuff that I grew up with, because you can kind of see that level of like absurdity in my books. So yeah. But that's awesome, dude. A second one. I gotta sneak on there more. I really do. Just been busy. I'm gonna be off on the West Coast again in 2 weeks, so I might be missing a Red Morning. This might be the first year in the history of the show that I've ever missed 2 episodes in a calendar year. I feel kind of bad. Yeah, there's a Key and Peele sketch about Gremlins 2, and it's hilarious. Okay, leaving it 3 weeks. I'm reading my news every day. It makes me wish I was sooner. But it doesn't matter. Like I said, God knows I've got enough work out there. We can keep you guys busy. And I know I talk about it a lot. I should. I'm proud of it. It's fucking good. I actually feel bad because Dog Walker is really good. And because of Softbone, and in my infinite wisdom, I thought, dude, how prolific can you be? And it turns out you can be a lot. 4 months is, if you really buckle down, I can get a book out every 4 months, like a proper fiction book, not slop, like properly done. I'm kind of slowing it down. I'd rather 6 priorities, but hell, the fact that Softbone just came out in August, and I'll probably have Softbone 2 ready by December. And I have the manuscript ready for Apraxeology Volume 4, which I want to get out for you two guys, because I don't want to have this be the first year where I didn't get out something red-pilled. Not yet. But I worry that it probably won't be out until January. Yeah, Volume 4. It's going to be very similar to Volume 3, case like field reports. The difference is, though, where this is just like a loose collection of, like, to show the process of a field report in case studies, it's going to be more of a longitudinal look. It's like case studies over time as opposed to like a multiple different set of snapshots. But they're both going to have that kind of Reader's Digest vibe to them. So yeah. And then another audiobook. That's the only, like, dude, I like, you guys love audiobooks. I like how you like the audiobooks. I fucking hate recording audiobooks, man. I really do. Free gender, $2 super chat. And yet Winds of Winter is nowhere to be found. Dude, he gets so much shit for that. Like, even Larry Corella, the Monster Hunter guy, his new book in the dedication section, he's like, there, GR, do you see how fucking easy it is? I was just like yeah, that was him. Makes me fucking laugh. Are field reports still posted online, or is it more of a writing it down for yourself? Well, I mean, you're supposed to write it down yours for yourself, but I still do them. Like, if you go onto my Substack, every Tuesday, I'll do case studies on older field reports, sometimes even newer ones. And then I have my workshop that I do with the guys every Thursday. But that's more of a teaching environment. I don't release that one to the public at all. That's strictly for the guys to fit their own stuff. The idea there is you need like a level of discretion, or it doesn't work. You can't, man. Because some guy will be telling stuff about his upcoming divorce, or some guy will be telling a story about his wife cheating on him, and it's embarrassing, or somebody's cheating on his wife, and he's like, I don't know what to talk about the stuff that I'm going through right now because anybody I tell to will just blow my life up. And so the only way that guys can be honest and forthright and actually work on their shit is just discretion. So that stuff stays mostly in there, which is, it's almost it's unfortunate for you guys. For them, it's great. But for you guys, it sucks because it's probably some of the best work out there. But again, it's not for rubberneckers. It's not for navel gazers. That's for the guys doing work. And so that's why I never really advertise it. If guys really want to find it, they find it. And it's small, which makes it manageable. And that's always been, like, when I had it, it used to be on Patreon, and now it's on a separate Substack. But it was always meant to be a small, intimate, manageable thing. It was always about the teaching, not so much like maximizing revenue or whatever the fuck. So what would happen is if too many people joined and the episodes got a little long, I would start jacking up the prices. So then it's like, yeah, that way we kind of keep new clients coming. And then as it toned down, I would pull it back down. So we'll see. Free Gender, $2 super chat. Directors hated magic and ended Game of Thrones 2 seasons early. Yeah, it was so weird, man. I don't know why they did it that way. Like, I think I watched Game of Thrones until the daughter area or whatever went to the little assassin's place. That's the last thing I saw, was when she walked into the assassin thing, the faceless people. But it was kind of fun when it was like mostly just like medieval shit with a bunch of sociopaths. And there was like a little bit, like, not magic, you know what I mean? But kind of like, oh, some goofy shit. But then they started throwing like dragon fire and mystical wizard shit. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, sorry, I'm over it. I get it. Everybody's a piece of shit. I'm over it. As soon as all the girls became like, as soon as they had that moment where all the chicks are like, I'm the assassin, I'm the queen, I'm a bitch. And you're like, all right, I'm out. I'm out. It's like, I don't know, that's what all TV does now. It's another reason why I'm writing so much. It's just because I can't watch anything anymore, man. I don't know how people do. And I guess that's the optimism of it, is that people get sick of like nothing being on there. And so you're like, let's make my own, fuck it. You got guys telling good stories to Minecraft Let's Plays. You got lots of good books coming out there, a ton of mediocre books. But even then, the fact that I would probably take any indie book that's been written this year over any new Netflix show that's been put out this year. That should tell you something. What fans don't get is that George doesn't give a fuck about the series like it is. Oh, I'm pretty sure they get it. What they're mad about is like, dude, you can't finish your fucking job. Yeah. Sam Whiskey, sir, why did you pick that? Oh, fuck off. Why'd you pick that typeface for the softphone cover? Technically, oh, by the way, for the side one here where it says like the R.A. Stone, see that there? That was the typeface they used in The Running Man. Remember that scene in the Running Man where they start doing like the little preamble stuff? I loved that typeface, so I went and looked it up, bought it. I was like, yeah, I got to put that in there. It's also on the back. That's the same one that you get for The Running Man. But beyond that, it's mostly just because I want something that stands out. I want somebody to be able to look at it in a sea of other people's books and like be able to spot it in a list. Yeah, I really dig the text for the main text of the story in Softbone. That's because I went with like ultimate readability. Actually, technically, I changed it. It's so normally when you're writing a book, there is like you want to make it easy on the eyes, and so you pick Caslon, which is like the old British font, Garamond, which is like the old Italian font. But I went with something called Jensen, which is like a modern version of it. So it's technically cyberpunk in the sense that it's high tech, where Caslon was invented in the 1700s. Jensen was like 1800s. No Couch and Rolo collab for this year's No Nut November. I don't know. We haven't talked in a bit. We'll probably could. I just know because he's had it rough, man. You guys remember he had that was it sepsis, whatever it was? I knew it was hospital thing, and I was hoping he got better, but I didn't realize how bad it is, man. People die from that shit. So Rolo cutting through on that one. That was like we dodged a bullet on that one. We almost lost another red pill guy. We're losing them left, right, and center. We lost Private Man, if you can remember this guy from way the fuck back. Thor, of course. Coach Red Pill. I might be getting the word wrong. It was one of those things. Something with an S. Coach Red Pill died of his own stupidity. Kevin Samuels. Andrew Tate. Oh, no, he's alive. Who was the other one that died? Pat. Oklahoma City, yeah, he died. But you see what I mean? Like, a lot of guys are falling off. It would just suck to lose Rolo, especially so young. I don't know what it is, man. I like my best guess is that Couch Ryan, where you hear Manosphere News Weekly. Yeah, Andrew Curry, thank you. Alan Roger Curry, yeah, him too. Everybody's fucking dying. I have a theory on that, by the way. I think the reason that so many Gen Xers are dying is because that was the last generation where people smoked on the regular. Smoking was on the regular, lead on the regular. I don't think microplastics kill you, so I think millennials are going to live longer. But I could be wrong. People might be dropping off the face of the earth in their 60s in the millennial years. I don't know. That's my theory anyway. Both are pretty bad, though. One's where your colon falls apart. Jesus Christ. I don't know if I needed to know that one. That's another reason. I was like, yeah, there's got to be new blood in here. Like right now, and it's sad to say because, you know, Jack's not a young man. I think he's in his 30s and Nuke's in his 30s. And these are the young men that are taking over now. Somewhere out there has got to be a Zoomer. Like, worst boyfriend ever is about the closest thing we have to like the new generation of red pill guys. And he's in the Philippines right now drinking coffee. Free Gender, $20 super chat. Bring me back to Whammon. The girl who played Daenerys got famous for getting naked. Then, like season 3, she complained about being naked. After all of cable TV was too scared to have any woman naked. Exactly. I remember that. Yeah, it was because she had like a grape scene with Drago, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's hot because she's naked." But that's a career thing. With a lot of chicks, they have like there's apparently a strategy session about when and how and for how long you get naked. You don't want to just come out the gate being naked because then you have to fight very hard to get off of that, like Tracy Lords did. But then you don't want to never get naked unless you're an amazing actor, which, I mean, very few women are. So there's the ones that want to be like, you don't be naked at first to tease everybody for a couple of years, and then you have like a topless scene at some point, like Showgirls or the stripper one with Demi Moore. Like you throw one of those in there for a big pump, and then you go back to not being naked again. But she was the one, yeah, she had nothing. Not good acting skills, didn't look very good. So fine, I'll get naked. Bam, she got naked, got famous. She's like, all right, no more naked. I don't have to now. Try Sasha Grey or Sibel Kekeli. Well, yeah, the porn stars, that's the Tracy Lord thing where they naked straight off at the bat, and then they have to go ultimate Puritan on the other side of things, so they don't. So I remember that Tracy Lord, she was known, if you guys don't remember her, she was a porn chick in the 80s. And she was known for, I don't know what the name of the movie was, but everybody remembers the controversy that she had a fake ID to get on the set, and I guess she was 16 or something like that. And so like, oh my God, it's like all of a sudden every guy who was at the peep shows or whatever, porn theaters, the VHS tapes or whatever, they're like, what? Caused a big problem. Anyway, she got out of the business, and then she's like, I don't want to talk about it. I want to look about it. And she went fucking hardcore. Turns out she was actually a pretty good actress, too. They had her in this show on the Sci-Fi Network I used to love. It was called Fifth Wave. I think it was Fifth Wave or Third Wave? Third Wave. Fourth Wave. Fourth Wave. It was like about an alien invasion, things of Nostradamus. It kind of had the character that... do you remember Max Payne? He was kind of based on the main character of this one. Anyway, she played like another detective in that one. It was pretty good. And then she was in Blade, and she ended up having a DJ career, so she was like a Cascade. She did pretty well for herself. Like, good job. Yeah, a couple of B movies too. So it's like, these are all career things. They can all work. But you gotta not take it seriously, because you gotta remember a lot of it is, I don't want to say scripted, but it is performative. So, whatever. No, it's not First Wave. I want to say it was Fifth Wave. Hold on a second here. It might be Fourth Wave. Might have been Fourth Wave. Oh, you're right. It is First Wave. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. First wave. It was the first wave of an alien invasion where they do this Nostradamus stuff, and yeah, and you'd use like the predictions of Nostradamus. I didn't know it was a Canadian one. It was one of the the Stargate type sci-fi movies that they all filmed in Vancouver. Dude, I used to love this one. This one and Alien Nation. Fuck, those were good. Yeah, first wave. Fuck, my bad. Look at that. I've forgotten more shitty sci-fi than you guys ever. Oh, you guys can hear that music? All right, let me turn that one off. That was supposed to be just for me. My tinnitus has been acting up lately. So anyways, I think that's it for this episode. I'm just kind of getting into banter at this point, so let's just cut it off. Cut it off on the high note. Softbone, Down and Out, in New Kowloon. It's pinned on here. It'll be in the things. The audiobook is out. If you have credits, I would say just buy it, because I think the credits just like screw everybody. They just don't get anything. But I mean, whatever. As long as you listen to it, you listen to it. You'll enjoy it. It's a great science fiction book. It's got great red pill themes. It's got great character arcs. Everybody who's read it has said a few things. The pacing was awesome. Never got bored. Read it in a single seating. They found like the rip from the headline satire of it. They found it absolutely hilarious. And they just enjoyed it full in. So even if you're not a reader, like I'm not a reader, and I even enjoyed it. So yeah. It's a good book. I found it similar to some things in Fuck Files. Well, I mean, that's just because I'm me. And so when I write, there's going to be certain things you notice about my writing that are mine. But technically what you're thinking, Abnavar Nair, is probably Dog Walker. Good morning, Couch. Gym time. Ross the Skunk, thank you very much, sir. $5 super chat. Appreciate it. But just to warn you, right at the beginning, somebody already gave me the $5 Jack Murphy super chat right at the beginning, so you missed the trend. Anyways, enjoy yourselves. Get on that one. Christmas is coming up soon. Enjoy yourselves. And don't forget, remember out of all this stuff, don't talk like a bitch. Don't listen like a spurg. Everything at the top is horrible and is going to shit, and everything's going down. And the closer you get to local, the better things are looking for you. And if there is this giant bitch or thorn in your side or horrible woman that drives you nuts, pray to Jesus that she gets a boyfriend in the next year, because she'll calm right the fuck down and turn into a wonderful human being. Yeah, still working on the Dog Walker. Yeah, take your time. Take your time. It's not a race. The one thing I will say though, if you go optimistic, goes into Cappy. That's fair. So Dog Walker, and it's, I guess the last thing I'll end on this. Dog Walker is about 88,000 words, 85,000 words. It's a bigger book. It's a bigger character study. I've choned it down. Softbone, I think, was like 60. And Softbone 2 is probably going to be around 50. I'm kind of switching over to a more 50, 55, 60 at the most. But ideally 50,000 word books, because they're more digestible. I don't like the idea of people with giant 500-page books having, like, it takes 7 weeks to get through this. Like, I want something somebody gets like a Starbucks drink. You pick it up, you drink it in a day, and you're like, oh, this is great. It's like the way pulp books used to be. Oh, and I have a story going in. Vince is doing another pulp anthology, and I'm going to have a story going to him. I got to email it to him when I'm done after this one. You'll like it. The First Families of Cydonia. Anyways, that's it. Enjoy yourselves. I'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers. Let's see if we can screw up and not have the... Let me know in the chat if the sound doesn't play in this one either. It should. It better.